Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, estes nostra salve.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. As Jesus approached Jericho, a blind man was sitting by the roadside begging. And hearing a crowd going by, he inquired what was happening. They told him, Jesus of Nazareth is passing by. He shouted, Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me. The people walking in front rebuked him, telling him to be silent, but he kept calling out all the more, Son of David, have pity on me. Then Jesus stopped and ordered that he be brought to him. And when he came near, Jesus asked him, What do you want me to do for you? He replied, Lord, please let me see. And Jesus told him, Have sight, your faith has saved you. He immediately received his sight and followed him, giving glory to God. When they saw this, all the people gave praise to God. The Gospel of the Lord. Qui pède sa langue, pède son foi. Does anybody understand that? Qui pède sa langue, pède son foi. This was a saying right here on the west side of Manchester. Until the mid-70s, the west side of Manchester was a very large French ghetto. The signs on the stores were written in French. The pastor of St. Marie's would jokingly tell his parishioners, if you go to St. Patrick's over there, he'd say this to his people in French, if you go to St. Patrick's over there, that's not really the Mass because it's not French. There was a culture here, and the French Canadians, their culture, their Frenchness, had everything to do with their faith culture. They were symbiotic for them. And the term qui perd sa langue, perd son foi is a phrase that says if you lose your language, you lose your faith. A language is key to culture. And the people understood here that if you started to lose your French culture, you're going to stop remembering the language you pray in. And you're going to allow your faith to dissipate. Jerry Mittot knows this, doesn't he? Yes. The book of Maccabees is about the religious faith of the people of Israel being compromised by allowing themselves to be enculturated into a paganistic cultural world. And they were being invited to worship other gods. You and I know as Christians, and the people of Israel knew, that there is only one God. And if you're calling upon other gods, they belong to another kingdom. It's as simple as that. It's the demonic kingdom. And it brings with it many evil things, like forcing people and threatening their lives to worship something else. And this is what's happening in the book of Maccabees. As the story is going to progress, we're going to see a group of faithful people rise up and take back their culture. But it's so easy to be swallowed in a destructive culture. And we're seeing this now. We're becoming more and more irreligious as a country. And yet what I see as a priest, as a pastor, is people who have faith are actually becoming more fervent in their faith, because somehow maybe you don't see it in front of your face, but there's a feeling that you're having that says, I really got to hang on to this, because what I see out there doesn't really make sense. Praise you, Jesus. And so sometimes, in order to see, you have to be able to walk away from something. You have to be able to turn away from it. This is called conversion. The Greek word is metanoia, where I make a 180-degree turn away from the thing that's stopping me from seeing, or from the direction that's impeding my progress, and turn 180 degrees the opposite direction to something that is better and good and beautiful, Jesus Christ. This blind man of Jericho, he is blind, but he sees. Because the first thing he sees is he knows that he needs to follow Jesus. He needs to go in that direction. And he's willing to sacrifice. He's willing to make a big sacrifice. If you take a look at this, what was his profession? Did anybody pick that up in the reading? He was a beggar. He made his living begging. And he got sympathy from people, and he played it. He got sympathy from people because he was blind, and they gave him money. Now that he sees, he had to make the decision to be able to walk away from his job. With his sight restored, he couldn't say, I'm blind, give me money. He couldn't use that anymore. He lost his income right there. But we're told what he did was he immediately received sight and followed Jesus, giving glory to God. He took on a new direction. We don't see what happened to him here, but he was very happy to turn away from a life to a degree of some security. He was in agreement with turning away from that and turning to Christ. In some ways, this is something that we're called upon to do often. Because of the anti-Christian, and I will dare say anti-Catholic culture that we live in, there are many things that pull us away. We're always on the verge of losing our faith if we're not attentive to seeing and looking for Jesus. And how easy it is to be deceived, as the people were in the book of Maccabees. And yet Christ calls us to continually see. And you know what's interesting? We do see. We see that bread and wine can become the body and blood of Jesus Christ. And so we are here. And with that sight, we follow him. Moving from a kingdom of darkness to a kingdom of light in Jesus Christ.
Regina Celi, letare